Right. So this is the topic today. We will discuss data types. Okay. So knowingly, unknowingly, we introduced the word data type in our previous programs. I said when I declare a variable int x, in that I said int is a data type. Okay. So today we'll see what is data type means. So we need to know the answer for this question. What is a data type first? Okay. So data type refers to the kind of data that a variable will hold. We are declaring variables to store data values. Yes or no? So in that variable, what kind of data you are going to store, or what kind of data that variable is going to store, that is informed to the compiler by means of this data type. So data type refers to the kind of data that a variable will hold. What kind of data we are going to store in the variable, we are informing to the compiler well in advance at the beginning of the main function. First we are informing, then we are storing same kind of a data in such a variables. This is the definition of a data type. Okay. So in C language, data types are classified into two types. We can classify data types into two types. One is primary data types, or we can also call them as fundamental data types, or sometimes basic data types. All mean the same. Primary data types, fundamental data types, or basic data types. Then the second type is derived data types. They are classified into these two types, primary data types and derived data types. Okay. So today we'll see what are primary data types or fundamental data types supported by C language. So C language supports 5 fundamental data types. The 5 basic data types supported by C language are integer data type, floating point data type, then character data type, double precision data type, then void type. These are 5 fundamental data types supported by the C. What are those 5? Integer type. Type indicates data type. Whenever in programming language, whenever we say type, it is nothing but the data type. In short, we call them as a type. Okay. So integer data type, floating point data type, character data type, double precision type, and a void type. Okay, so this is ANSI C standard. Okay, so the latest C standard is C99. We call the latest C standard as a C99, and this C99 standard supports 3 more data types. Okay, so along with these, now the latest compilers also supports 3 more data types, and they are called Boolean data type, complex type, and imaginary type. Okay, so generally in interviews, people ask this. That means whether you know the latest compiler supported data types or not. Okay, so these are, you don't find these in textbooks. Okay, so these are the new C99 supported compilers generally support these 3 data types: Boolean type, complex type, and imaginary type. So 5 fundamental data types, and recently 3 more basic types added. They are Boolean type, complex type, and imaginary type. Please remember. Okay, so how to inform about these data types to the compiler? Okay, so please make a note of this. It is very, very important. Then now this is the very, very important uh, table. Okay, so everyone should remember this table. Okay, so I'll tell you how these data types are informed to the compiler. Okay, so the first column indicates data type name, the second column indicates keyword used, and the third column indicates format specifier, and the fourth column indicates size in bytes, then fifth column indicates range of values. Okay, right? So for example, if you take character data type, now I want to inform compiler that I am going to store character data. Okay, so how I can inform? By using the keyword char, char. That means I have to declare the data type as a char type, char, and all of these letters should be in a lowercase. Please remember. Okay, so by you should not write a character type in the program. Okay, so in the program, how we inform the compiler that I am going to store a character type data by using this keyword char. Okay, so I'll give you one example for these data types, how they can be used in the program. Okay, so char by using the keyword char. Okay, so how to print that char data type or how to read that char data type from the keyboard by using this format specifier. The format specifier used for character type is percentage small c here. Percentage small c. Okay, so what is the size in terms of bytes allocated by the compiler for this data type? That is nothing but 1 byte. That means 8 bits of storage will be allocated for a character type. Okay, so I said in previous programs, when I declare int x, for x 2 bytes of data will be allocated or 4 bytes of data will be allocated. It depends on the operating system or from machine to machine. Okay, so if in Windows, integer occupies 32 bits. In Linux, Windows occupies 4 bytes. Sorry, in Windows 16 bits, in Linux it is 32 bits, 4 bytes. Okay, so it depends on a operating system and also from machine to machine. Okay, so character type here occupies 1 byte. Okay, that means the compiler allocates memory based on the data type only. Please remember how the compiler should allocate memory. It understands how much memory should be allocated for a variable that is dependent on the data type of the corresponding variable. Okay, so if you declare a variable's data type as char, 1 byte of memory will be allocated for that variable. Okay, so what are the range of values supported? Minus 128 to plus 127. These are the range of values. Okay, so just please remember in today's class, I am just giving the range of values supported for each data type. Okay, how these values are arrived, that I'll tell you in the tomorrow's class. There are some mathematics involved in this. Okay, so those mathematics we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay, so don't worry about these range of values. I'll tell you clearly, and even you can easily remember these values. Minus 128 to plus 127. Then the second data type is integer data type. Okay, so how we inform the compiler? By using the keyword int, int in lowercase. Please remember, in lowercase we use int. Okay, so by seeing this keyword, it understands that it is integer type of data the variable is going to hold or store. Okay, so how we can print integer variable values? By using this percentage d format specifier. By using this percentage d format specifier. Okay, so how much memory is allocated? 2 bytes of memory. Here 2 indicates bytes, size in bytes I said. Okay, so 2 bytes of memory is allocated for a integer type on Windows. Okay, so that means 16 bits. 16 bits of memory is allocated. Okay, on Linux 4 bytes, that means 32 bits of memory will be allocated. Okay, so for 2 bytes, the range of value supported by integer is minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. Okay, so these are the range of values. Then the next data type is floating point data type. What is the keyword used? Float, lowercase. In lowercase, we write FLOAT, float. And what is the format specifier? Percentage small f we should use. Percentage small f. Okay. Then how much memory is allocated for this floating point variable? 4 bytes of memory. That means 32 bits of memory will be allocated. Okay. So what is the difference between integer data and floating point data? I told in the last class. Integer data nothing but it is numbers without any decimal point. Floating point data means numbers with decimal point. Okay, so that's why if you see in the range of values, now for integer 32,768, see this is only a number without a decimal point. Up to plus 32,767. Okay, and similarly floating point type, the range of value supported is 3.4 e minus 38 to 3.4 e plus 38. Okay, so here e indicates exponent. E indicates exponent. This value is, it is in mathematics, if you want to write this, this is nothing but 3.4 into 10 power of minus 38. 10 power of minus 38 to 3.4 into multiplied by 10 power of plus 38. Okay, so 10 power of plus 38 means 1 followed by 38 zeros. 1 followed by 38 zeros. Okay, so that means 3.4 into 1 followed by 38 zeros. You can just imagine how much big number it is. Okay, so that much of big number is supported by floating point. As the number of bits increases, the range of values supported also increases. Okay, right. So just remember what are the range of values supported. Okay, so we'll talk about these range of values, how they are arrived these numbers in tomorrow's class. Then the next data type is double precision type. Okay, so in short, we use the keyword double in lowercase. We use the keyword double. And what is the format specifier? Percentage LF. Percentage LF. How you can inform the compiler that I am going to print a double precision type number by using this format specifier, percentage small LF. Small LF. Okay. So what is the memory allocated for this double type? 8 bytes of memory. 8 bytes means 64 bits. See. That means if you want to store bigger and bigger numbers, the memory allocated should be increased. Memory allocated should be increased. Okay. So how you can increase the memory allocated for a variable? By declaring these data types. If you inform the compiler that my variable is double type, then immediately it allocates 8 bytes of memory for that. Okay. So what is the range of values supported for this double data type? 1.7 e minus 308 to plus 1.7 e plus 308. Okay, that means on the positive side 1.7 multiplied by 10 power of 308. 10 power of 308. That means 1 followed by 308 zeros. 1 followed by 308 zeros. Just you can imagine how much big number it is. Okay, right? So still, if you are not satisfied with 8 bytes of data, you want more bigger number to be stored. Okay, so generally in space requirement data, space kind of data. Okay, so when you are working with a space kind of data, or your these things, what you call shares. Okay, so share market kind of data, then you require bigger and bigger numbers. Okay, so then if you want to add more memory, then still you can have this data type, that is called long double precision type. Long double precision type. What is the keyword used? We use long space double. Two words we'll use here. Okay, so long, this long should be in all or in lowercase only, long space double. Then it understands that the data type is long double type. Okay, so what is the format specifier? How we can differentiate between double and long double? Here long double takes the format specifier as percentage capital LF. Percentage capital L followed by small f. Percentage capital LF. How much memory is allocated for this? 10 bytes. That means 80 bits of data allocated, and you can just see the bigger number supported by this long double. 3.4 multiplied by 10 power of minus 4932. 4932 to 1.7 multiplied by 10 power of plus 4932. That means 1 followed by 4932 zeros. Okay, right? So this is floating point type. Now in integer, you have 2 bytes. Now if you are not satisfied, you want a bigger number to be stored, then you can declare long integer type. You can declare long integer type. Okay, so what is the keyword used for that long integer? Just long. No need of writing int after this. Space int not required. Okay, when you declare just a long type, then compiler understands that this is long integer type. So how to read that long integer? What is the format specifier? Percentage LD. Percentage LD we use. Small l. Percentage small LD. So how much memory is allocated for long type? 4 bytes. 32 bits of data is allocated. Memory is allocated. Okay. Now you can see the bigger number that is supported. See 2 comma minus 2 comma 147 comma 483 comma 648. 2. This is in million. International system. 2 plus 2 comma 147 to 483 comma 647. Okay, so total 10 digit number it is supported. Here it is only 5 digit number. Maximum, what is the maximum value? 32,767. Integer supports what is the maximum value? 32,767. If you want to store 40,000, you cannot. Okay, why you cannot? I will tell you in the next class. Now, so a bigger number, if we want to store, then we declare integer type as a long integer type. Then this is the maximum value supported, 10 digit number, maximum value supported by this long integer type. Clear? Okay. So every day you should view this table, and you should remember these range of values. In interviews, generally there will be questions on these range of values, what is the format specifier, and especially in memory size. For double, what is the memory allocated? For long double, what is the memory allocated? Okay, so that's why I have given in the form of a table, so that everything is available in the table. Okay, so please, if you are writing in the notebook, please make a note of this table. Otherwise, after this class, I'll share PPT. You can copy in your notebook, but this must be in your notebook. Please remember. Okay, so every day before you take your breakfast, okay, or lunch, you should go through this table. You should by heart this table. Okay, right. Now with this knowledge, now we'll try to, now you are comfortable now in knowing the fundamental data types. Okay, 5 fundamental data types, and their extension, some of them are having extension like long, long double. Okay, and these are the keywords. You should remember the keywords used for them. Okay, for character type char, integer type int, floating point type float, double type double. Okay, for long double precision type long double, and for long integer type only long will use. And format specifiers also you should remember. Even in Google, if you type format specifiers for various data types, then you will get these types. Okay, so there are other extensions for this. Okay, so if time permits, we'll discuss them during our C course. Okay, right. Copied. So we'll discuss one by one. We'll discuss one by one. Okay, so integer data type. We'll start with the integer data type. So integers are whole numbers. Okay, without any decimal point. They are whole numbers without any decimal point. Yes or no? Let me just go through the chart. Yeah, program writing in mobile phone. Yeah, I'll tell you that E refers to. Okay, so I told you E refers to, this E is nothing but exponent. Okay, so in mathematics we'll write no 1.7 into 10 power of minus 38. Okay, so in programming we'll write that in this way. Okay, so 3.4 capital E or small e you can use here. Okay, so 3.4 E minus 38. Okay, so its value is nothing but, so I'll show you in the notepad. I'll tell you the meaning of this. Okay, so 3.4 E minus 38. Okay, so it is nothing but this value in mathematics. 3.4 E in mathematics, what we do is we'll write like this. Okay, so this is equivalent to 3.4 into 10 power of minus 38. Okay, so in mathematics we write like this, 3.4 into 10 power of minus 38. Okay, so in programming, if you want to represent this number in programming, we'll write in short this 3.4 E minus 38. Okay, so then compiler understands this number. Compiler understands this number by seeing this letter E. Either you can use capital E or small e. Okay, so compiler knows the meaning of this one. Clear? Okay, right. Now, so with these data types, now we'll take up the program, temperature conversion program. Okay, so then I'll also discuss one more program so that okay, right? So take down that program, temperature conversion program, because after discussing data types, I want to discuss this program. Okay, so that's why I delayed this, right? So now we'll discuss this program for temperature conversion. Okay, so the first line to be included is the comment line in our program. Okay, so then what is the next line to be included? Include the header file. So hash include stdio.h. Okay, so what is the next line to be included? Int main. Begin the main function, write the main function. Okay, so then start the main function here. Then give 2-3 spaces. Then you declare a variable here. Okay, so temperature conversion. So we have two types of temperature representation, Celsius and Fahrenheit. Celsius and Fahrenheit temperature conversions. Okay, right? So how do you convert Fahrenheit temperature into Celsius temperature? That you should know. Mathematically, how you do that, if you know, then you can write the program for that. Okay, so you can write a program so that your program will do instead of you doing manually. Okay, so what is the formula for temperature conversion? C is equals to, okay, so F minus 32, F minus 32, and this whole thing is multiplied by pi by 9. Yes or no? Okay, so C is equal to F minus 32 by F minus 32 into 5 by 9. Okay, or if you want to write this, you can write in this way. Okay, F minus 32 whole divided by 1.8. Okay, so in short, you can use this formula. C is equal to F minus 32 by 1.8. This is the formula for a temperature conversion, Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, right? Once you know this formula, now you can write an equivalent statement in C programming for this. Okay, so that means what you required here, you required Fahrenheit temperature to be known. Okay, so if you know Fahrenheit temperature, then you can get the Celsius, equivalent Celsius by using this formula. Yes or no? Now you have to write the program such that your program calculates given Fahrenheit temperature. Okay, right. So that means we require two variables here. Okay, so from this formula you can understand what are the variables required. Okay, so you require two variables here. One is Fahrenheit temperature and another variable for storing a Celsius temperature. Okay, so now here, now you can see here F minus F value, generally Fahrenheit, what is the human body temperature? 98.4 Fahrenheit, will say degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so generally this temperature in Fahrenheit will be in a decimal with the decimal points. Okay, so that means your data contains decimal points. Your data contains decimal points. So you have to choose appropriate data type for that. Okay, so I'll tell you what happens if you choose wrong data type. Okay, so that's why you have to declare the data type as a float type, and now you declare two variables, Fahrenheit, FAHR you can declare, and Celsius. Fahrenheit and Celsius. Okay, so if you want a short name for this, just you can declare cell. Okay, or if you want still short names, you can declare F comma C. Float type F comma C you can declare. Clear? Okay, so two variables you required. One is Fahrenheit for storing Fahrenheit temperature, another one is for storing a Celsius temperature. Okay, so we'll write program such a way that we ask the user to enter input through the keyboard. Okay, so that's why we first give a message to the user to enter the Fahrenheit temperature. Okay, so give a message to the user, say enter temperature or Fahrenheit temperature, you can say. Enter temperature Fahrenheit. Temperature value. Okay, so just you ask the user to enter, he enters some value. That means he enters, assume that he enters through keyboard. So through keyboard you want to read the value. Which function you have to use? Then I have to use a scanf function. This should come in your mind. Okay, so scanf. Then how can I read? Because he is entering a floating point data, so I have to read by using a percentage F format specifier. Okay, so through keyboard, how you can read the data? By using this format specifier. Okay, so then scanf, the first argument should be in double quotes percentage F comma percentage F reads that floating point data. Okay, so where to store? Address of F. I want to store that data in a variable called as a F. Clear? Okay, right. So then I know Fahrenheit temperature. Okay, please copy this. Give me 1 second of time. Okay, copied. Now, once we know Fahrenheit temperature, Now we can calculate equivalent Celsius temperature. Okay, so how to write equivalent? People, after writing this line of code, then people are feeling difficulty here. Okay, so that means you should know mathematical solution. Then you can convert that mathematical solution into programmatic solution. Okay, so this you should understand clearly, being a EC and computer science students. Okay, so we should understand how to convert mathematical statements into program statement. Okay, so here you should assume that. Okay, so we are asking the user enter Fahrenheit temperature. Assume that he entered some temperature. Okay, so then I am reading that temperature using this scanf function. Okay, now I have stored that value in a variable called f. Okay, this scanf function, what it will do? It reads the temperature and stores in the variable f. Okay, so now you assume that you have Fahrenheit temperature available. Now I need to convert that into Celsius temperature. Okay, so how my program should do that? Instead of me, how my program should do that? Okay, so that is in mathematics, I can use this formula. Now for the same, you write equivalent program statement. Okay, so how you can write C is equals to, okay, so F minus 32 divided by 1.8. Then end this statement with a semicolon. End this statement with a semicolon. Okay, so this statement calculates, takes f value from the variable. Okay, then f minus 32 first it calculates. You know BODMAS rule in mathematics. Okay, so whatever we write in parentheses brackets, that will be calculated first. Okay, so then this result will be divided with 1.8, and the result you will get a floating point number, and that will be stored in the variable called as a C. Okay, so in computer what happens? Right side calculation, the result will be assigned to the left side variable. C is equals, that's why this equal to in program we call it as assignment operator. Assignment operator. Okay, now we know Celsius equivalent Celsius temperature. Okay, so now you can print that on the screen. So this will be in memory. When you are storing the value in variable, means it is in memory. You do not know whether it has calculated correctly or not. Okay, so when you print, then you can confirm it. So how to print? By using printf statement. Okay, so say print here equivalent Celsius temperature is equals to. Okay, so this is the message I want to display on the screen. Okay, so how you are to display the message on the screen, accordingly you write the statement here. Okay, so after is equal to, now I want the value. In that place you use format specifier. Here the value has to be printed. Okay, so where is the value? The value is present in this variable. You cannot directly ask the compiler to print from this variable. Okay, so in this I have stored the number in floating point type, so that you should inform. So print the number in floating point only. Percentage F you have to write here. Okay, so close the double quotes, after that comma, then now you tell the compiler from where I have to take the value. From the variable C, you please take the value, then close parenthesis, end with the semicolon. Okay, so then finally say return 0. Okay, so then end your program, close the main function. Now this is how you should generate the program. Clear? Okay, so here we need to take the data type as a floating pointer type. Okay, right? So please copy this. I'll show you the execution of this in code blocks. Meanwhile, you copy this. Okay, so 5 by 9, if we use, how we can use this 5 by 9, I'll tell you all the complexities involved in this program. So what I do is I copy this program. I open a new file here, empty file, then I copy here, I paste here. Okay, so then let me now this is temperature program. Okay, so I'll just say temperature dot c. Right. Now, please remember this program, whatever program we write, this is called source code, which is in high level language, which is in a high level language. When you compile this program, that means I am building. Building means nothing but you are compiling your program. Okay. So when you compile your program, what happens means two more files are created. Two more files are created. Okay. So one is called object file, object code, which is that means your entire program will be converted into zeros and ones. That is called object code. That is called a object code. Then there are some library files available. Then your program has to be linked with that library files. Already in C compiler, some predefined programs are available, and your program and that program must be linked. Okay. So when you link your object, that means machine code with that C library, then that is called executable file. Okay. So for every program, two extra files will be created. I will show that in, say for example, where this program I have stored in G drive I have stored. Okay. So in G drive I have created a folder called as a C programs. Okay. So in this C programs, now see, I have created a temperature. Okay. This is my C file. Okay. Now for this C file, see, there is also, is it visible or shall I increase the font? Yeah, this is drive. No, I cannot increase the size here. View. Okay, so now you can just see here temperature.o object file is created. This is purely the machine code of your source code. Okay, then this object file, even if you open, nothing you understand, because everything is in a when it is displayed. Okay, so you cannot understand that. Then this object file, when it is linked with the C library, then this is called exe file. Here application is there. No, this is called executable file. This is your executable file. That's why in your folder there are three files created. Temperature is actual source program, and temperature.o is your object program, and temperature is your exe file .exe here. This is okay. So this is your exe executable code there. Okay, so font size I am unable to increase because this is drive name. No, right. Okay, so please remember that means for every C program created, okay, for our source code, there are two extra files. One is object file and another one is executable file, exe file in short we call them. These two files are created which are not visible to us. That means they are stored automatically in your drive. In Linux even that is also not visible. Object file, directly exe file is exe is available. That is with the name a.out in Linux. Okay, right. Now if I execute this program, now let us see whether there are any errors. No. Now I'll run this program. Now you can see enter Fahrenheit temperature. Okay, so 98.4 will enter. Now equivalent Celsius temperature is equal to 36.8888 Now see here, when you use percentage F, now this, when you use percentage F to print a number from the variable, that means when you say enter Fahrenheit temperature value 98.4 you entered, this enter Fahrenheit temperature is displayed from this printf statement. Okay, then cursor will be waiting after this. Now you entered 98.4, then this scanf function reads that value, okay, and stores in the variable f. Okay, so after this, now this statement takes that f value from the memory and calculates and stores the result in a C, variable C. Okay, so after this printf is printed. Equivalent Celsius temperature. That's why you can see equivalent Celsius temperature 36.8. Okay, now you can see here when you print this value from this variable in percentage F format specifier, by default it prints up to 6 digits after the decimal point. Okay, 36.8888889 up to 6 decimal places it prints. Please remember this. In interviews, people ask this. Okay, so 36.8888889 up to 6 decimal places it prints. Okay, now you want to restrict this only up to only 2 decimal places. I want to restrict this number to only 2 decimal places. In such case, how you can write? You can write this as a, okay, 0.2f you can say. 0.2f you can say. Okay, so when you write 0.2f, compiler understands that you want to print the number only up to 2 decimal places. See, after the point you have given the number 2. That means restrict the number up to only 2 decimal places. Okay, now just you can see execution of this. Now see, enter temperature value 98.4 I enter. Okay, now you can see here. Now it prints C 36.89, restricted only to 2 decimal places. Restricted to 2 decimal places. Okay, so like this you can format. This is called formatting the output. Format, that means you can print the output in your own format. In whatever format you want the result to be printed, you can do that by using these format specifiers with appropriate values here. Okay, clear? Right. Now, so there are, yeah, anybody has any doubt in this? Right. Now, I'll tell you what happens if we write like this. By mistake, you have written like this. F minus 32 by 1.8. 1.8. Okay, so I'll execute this. We'll see the result. Then after I'll tell you what is happening. Okay, so in your mind, you are thinking that f minus 32 has to be calculated first, then it has to be divided with 1.8. Okay, but how computer calculates this, we'll see. Okay, so it won't follow your mind. Okay, so it does on its own. Computer does on its own. It has some rules and it performs as per those rules. Okay, so you should understand how computer evaluates an expression. Okay, so now see here what happens. First, I'll show the result. Now, if I enter same 98.4, now you can see equivalent Celsius temperature 80.62. 80.62. Okay, so this time you got a different value. If something it is printing here, it means it doesn't mean that it is correct. The output is correct. Whatever computer prints is correct. Okay. No. Okay, so the output is wrong here. That means you have committed some mistake in the program. Okay, so what is the mistake you committed? You should understand. Okay, so if you know how computer calculates, then you can understand. In mathematics, you know BODMAS rule. Okay, first brackets, then order. That means exponentiation. Okay, so then division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Okay, so first multiplication, division will be calculated, then addition, subtraction will be calculated. Now if you write a statement in this form, what happens here means 32 by 1.8 is calculated first. 32 by 1.8, this is division. There are two operators here. One is subtraction operator and another one is division operator. Okay, so because division is having high priority, okay, so division operation is carried out first. 32 by 1.8 is calculated first, then f minus this result will be done. F minus this result will be done. So that's why you are getting 80 point something there, which is wrong. Okay, but as per formula, f minus 32 has to be calculated first. Now whichever has to be calculated first, you have to enclose that in parenthesis or brackets. Now if you enclose that in brackets, then f minus 32 is calculated first, then this result will be divided with 1.8. So that's why you will get the correct result there. Okay, now in this case, instead of using 1.8 here, okay, now I'll tell you. Right. Okay. Okay. So it's available. Right. Why only up to 6 digits? Okay. So percentage f, that is called single precision type. Double means double precision type. Okay. So there are some questions. Let me just quickly. Okay. So percentage f. Okay. So they have designed to print only up to 6 digits by default. By default, it prints up to 6 decimal digits. Okay. That is how the compiler has been designed. C compiler has been designed up to that means when this C specification, whenever a new language is developed, they write a documentation. In that documentation, they specify. Okay, so floating point means up to 6 digits, the number should be displayed. Accordingly, the compiler will be developed. As per that language specification, the compiler will be developed. Okay, so that's why the compiler prints only up to 6 digits. Now if you want to restrict this to 2 digits, 3 digits, you can do this in this way by using percentage 0.2f or percentage 0.3f. When you just say percentage f up to 6 digits, it prints. Okay, I'll take up other questions. Yeah, why we use float, why not use int? That is important. Okay, I told you when we write a program, okay, so that means you are going to solve a problem through program. Okay, so when you are going to solve a problem through program, in that problem, what kind of data you are going to use, you should understand that. Am I going to use only integer numbers in this, or in real world, the temperature in Fahrenheit and Celsius contains only integer numbers, or they also contain some floating point numbers? Okay, so accordingly you should select your data type, because temperature in real world contains a floating point numbers, like our human body temperature will say 98.4 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so that means whenever you write program, it should resemble the real world data. It should match with real world data. Okay, so accordingly you have to take this data type. If you take integer type, no problem, but whatever you print, when you divide this with 1.8, you will be getting a floating point number, and that decimal part will be truncated, discarded, and you will get only integer part. Please remember, I'll tell you, just see in the screen here. For example, I'll tell you, for example, you have a data like 45.34567. Okay, and this is called a decimal part, and this is called before decimal point, whatever number is called, this is called decimal integer part, and this is decimal part. And if you declare a variable as integer, even if your calculation gives you a floating point number, and this will be truncated, that means, and only this integer part data will be stored in that one. I'll show that by taking integer type what happens. Okay, right? No. So before that, let me complete this. What happens? How the calculation is done by the compiler. This is very, very important. Now, if we write a statement like this, f minus 32 into 5 by 9. Okay. So you are supposed to calculate f minus 32 first, but you have not given parenthesis. If you miss the parenthesis, what happens? This multiplication and division will have high priority. Okay. Multiplication is coming first. So that's why this 32 multiplied by 5 is calculated first. Okay, then this result will be divided with 9. Okay, then the entire thing will be subtracted from f. This is how the computer does the calculation. Okay, right? So this time what happens if you write like this, whether you are getting the result, yeah, we have not okay, right? So this time what the output will get, we'll see here. Now enter temperature, same 98.4, I'll enter here. Okay, now you can see 81.40. Yeah, previously when you use divided by 1.8, when you use divided by 1.8, then it has given 80 point something, and if you use this kind of statement, see 81.40, it is getting. Okay, so you should understand the way the computer performs calculation. Okay, so f minus 32 into 5 by 9. Okay, in this case what happens first, f minus 32 will be calculated first, brackets. Okay, then this entire thing will be multiplied by 5, then the result will be divided with 9 here. Okay, so what is the result you will be getting here, we'll see here if you use this kind of formula. So if I say 98.4, now see 36.89. So I restricted to 2 decimal places. Okay, 88889. Now it rounded off to 9, second digit. Okay, right? So we are getting the same result. Now you should write these equations properly, otherwise you will get wrong results. Clear? Okay. Now, so another doubt, if we use int here, what happens? If you use int here, what happens? Okay, so then you have to use percentage d here, and here also you should use percentage d instead of percentage f. Okay, so you should enter Fahrenheit temperature, only integer number you should enter. Okay, so now I'll build the program. Now I run the program. So enter Fahrenheit temperature 98.4. Even if I enter, okay, so what happened, just see here, equivalent Celsius temperature 36. It printed 36. Okay, so what happens means, even if you enter 98.4, but this percentage D reads only integer number, that means only 98 it takes. 98 it takes and stores in the variable f, and now it calculates, it's like 98 minus 32 into 5 divided by 9. Okay, so even if you by 9, if you get a floating point number, and that as I told here, okay, so even if you get some dot 987 something, okay, so what the compiler will do is it truncates this decimal part, and only this integer part will be stored here. Only that integer part will be stored in a C. Okay, right? So then when you print this percentage D, that's why you are getting only 36 here. But for 98.4, 36 is not the correct answer. Okay, so that's why your data type should resemble the real world data. Okay, so in real world, what data we will be using for representing this temperature, and accordingly you have to take the data type. Hope I made it clear. Okay, so many points we are discussing, and try to remember all those points. Screen again, screen disappeared. Okay, right. Okay, so hope we made this special class a fruitful one, and we'll stop here.